Hello, how you doing? Just 4 days to go, so I'm very excited. I don't know how I'll ever be ready, but as in terms of building everything I need to build. But please share this, like, comment, tag 3 people. I should do that, and tag 3 people who you think would benefit. Not your mum, your dad, your sister, unless they would benefit from that. But I'm particularly looking for mums who are working, but also building plan B, trying to build a business, but struggling. And they don't know why they're struggling. You don't know why they're struggling, but you'd love them to succeed. And they're probably struggling because of stuff up here rather than any knowledge. You know, they've got all the knowledge they need. They've got they're the most wonderful person. They're a real people pleaser, but they let life get in the way. They put others first. They don't put themselves first. And you wish they would. Oh, this is about helping that. Okay. Those people. And that might be you as well, but please, share it, tag me in it so I can see that. Tag 3 people. And I'll put you into the draw to potentially win exclusive access to this and a one-to-one coaching session with me. The draw will be on Friday the 14th. Right. So a story here. A story about crying, me crying, a crying exercise, which confounded me, confused me, and never got explained. Yet was incredibly powerful. So powerful, I'm going to tell you about it. And it was a while ago. I'll tell you that in a minute. So after my first divorce, I was so confused. I was separated from my beautiful boy. Oh, I'm going to get emotional at this. It's an emotional story for me. And I was so confused. And when you get married, you do it for life. And I was so all over the place in my head. I didn't understand, I just didn't feel I knew myself at all. I didn't understand it. I was so confused. I was looking for an answer. And what I say, I don't know if somebody even suggested it, but I was in a kind of self-development group, part of a profession of, I was a coach. And somebody suggested this. I can't even remember who. It was landmark education. If you know that, you know that. But part of the thing that's why it's a bit cultish. It's like I started to get a bit uncomfortable after a while. But part of it is, if you get benefit from this, share it with others. Go out and share it. And it felt a bit like that was their sales program. And it felt a bit uncomfortable to me, being terribly British. But anyway, I did this. I paid for this. It was quite expensive to me at the time. And I paid for this intensive weekend. I did that, got through. It didn't quite, but it engaged me, and I did more of it. I did, the program that followed on from that. And I really wanted to understand why I was doing what I was doing, why I was in the situation I was in, why I struggled, why I socially struggled, why I'd had panic attacks, why I felt useless, why I let my marriage collapse, why I felt so emotional, why I felt so hurt, why I just felt a bit broken. And this course was offering stuff, but it was also challenging me. Anyway, on this one weekend, very intense, as they all were, and this isn't an advert for them. There's other courses and other experiences. But in this one thing, it was about an exercise. Everybody get up, and it was a room of 150, 300, I don't know, about 300 people. Everybody find a part you don't know. Okay, that's quite easy in a big room. Okay, and what you've got to do is arms down, stand at them, and just stare at them. Don't stare, just look at them in the eyes. Right? But don't say anything. And there was lots of giggling and awkwardness, looking around everywhere. Okay, so take that off and just look at them in the eyes without saying anything. It's okay to smile, but just maintain that contact with them. And there were people giggling, and you're trying not to get distracted looking, and some people crying, and the people walking around, the people helping, the assistants were all the time were saying it's okay, whatever the person that you're looking at is doing. It's one-on-one and rows and people all over the place doing this one-on-one without speaking. But the person leading it said, don't ask any questions, don't touch them, just let them be. Some people it'll be giggles, some people it'll be laughter, and waves of giggles went around and then stopped. And it was like, well, you're aware of all this stuff going on, but you're just maintaining this contact and the smiling, and you think you project, you think you know what they're thinking, and then you have to let go, because how can they be thinking that? You're conscious of your own thoughts. And they said the instructions were, when you feel complete and you think your partner feels complete, you're okay, let each other know, check, are you ready? And then go and sit down. And that's it. And some people wanted to get down because it was like, I know I was one of those people. It was like, oh, I hate this, especially as some people sat down and we weren't sitting down. I didn't know why we were sitting down yet. And the other person was fine. I was crying. And there were quite a lot of people crying. But I was crying. So I was like, shit, get my shit together, because I can't look. But it was like, oh, fuck, why am I crying? Whoa. Woo. Proper crying. Not just like, oh, excuse me. Proper. proper crying, There were no instructions. They would just keep that, it's like, Christ, get it together, Will, get it together. Suck all this emotion up. And it was like, yep, okay. Crying again. And then I was in my peripheral becoming more and more conscious that more and more people were sitting down, and and the people were coming up, and the leaders saying, that's okay, keep going. And I was saying, I think I'm ready. No, you're not ready. It's like, I know I'm not ready, but I'm really fucking uncomfortable. I want to sit down. It's, no, you're not ready. And this went on and on. No idea about time. Must have been at least 10 minutes. Most of the room was sat down, and I was aware by that time most of the room was sat down. I've still got my gaze with you. But, you can see in peripheral stuff's going on. And all the time I'm trying to keep up my emotions. And then they keep just coming out. And I'm standing there absolutely crying. Oh, sorry, broke my eye contact with you. And I'm doing this, and I'm crying. It's like, what the fuck? What am I doing? Why am I doing this? What's this person thinking of me? What the hell are they thinking about me? Pull it together. And then another wave just fucking takes me, and just, I'm absolutely sobbing my heart out. Absolutely proper, uncontrollable. And then I managed to go, pull it up. And then I think, oh, please be bloody ready, because I think I'm the only one standing up with my partner. I think I'm the only bloody one standing up in this room. Whoosh! Out it comes again. And this went on for what felt like 3 weeks. It felt like blimmin' ages, torturous. Until it kind of came to a point where it was like, whew. I think it's about. I could, but I think I'm about. I think I can actually control it. Wow! And then the leader came up and said, "Are you ready?" And I think, yeah, I think so. Going like this to the other person. The other person's just kind of a bit blown away, but like they're not the one crying, so it's all right for them. Anyway, so and they say, okay, sit down. And went and sat down, felt another wave of emotion, but managed to keep it together. And it was never talked about. It was never discussed. It was like, what just happened? No idea. Never explained. It wasn't in this exercise, you will, and then the outcome will be. No, none of that. We just moved on to someone else. But for about, quite a few weeks later, every time, group things or whatever, we come together, it's like, I just... People would come to me and say, that was amazing. That was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. That was so powerful, so amazing. You're amazing. And I'd go, thanks, I don't know. Am I, it's like, how was that amazing? It was, but so many, you're the one that cried. My God, that was amazing. So many people would come up to me and say how powerful for them that experience was, but I still didn't have an understanding what the hell it was. That was 19 years ago. 19 years ago. And I kind of understand what that is now, what it was. It's all the different traumas, but also a deep trauma within me. And it was just just coming out, and I put myself in a position where I wanted to understand myself, but I actually wasn't prepared. I wasn't comfortable. I wasn't safe in a way, but there was an aspect of me that I wanted to find out what was, and it was coming out. But of course, there wasn't the support. There wasn't that, and this isn't a criticism of them or it. It was a very powerful event, but it's taken me years to understand this stuff. What the impact this trauma can have on us, the impact of, and when I say trauma, I mean emotional damage, emotional impact, thinking that I was stupid and ugly and useless. Those sort of things were deep in my subconscious. It's taken me years to understand that stuff, that it's not true. Oh my God, it's not true. But how that can affect us and how that can impact on what we experience in life, and how it can, why we self-sabotage, why we stop ourselves from succeeding. It's big stuff, and it might sound a bit funny, but it was an interesting event and experience, really unique experience. And 19 years later, it's not like that fixed me, but it opened up stuff. And then it's really difficult to find somewhere where you get A, B, C, all the way through to Z, and you're done. It's like, wow, we're so complex. It's not that easy. Maybe you find somebody that's a bit of a guru, somebody else that's a bit of, then you find something on YouTube, and it's like, and you dive into the. I'm a deep diver. I dive into these things. That's fascinating. I'm not a spiritual person. I'm not a tree hugger. I'm not a card reader. I'm not I'm very pragmatic. I like to see and have it proven, and, pragmatic, let me try it. Oh, that works. And that's nothing against people that find spiritual stuff or whatever. But for me, that's not, sitting and meditating. And I've done not so much meditation. I've done yoga and retreats, and that's not so much my thing, nor is taking psychedelics, and there's so many routes. I just want something that will work. I can do it, and it works. But what I found there's so many courses where there's a premise of understanding and everybody being equal. Even for impaired learning, disabilities, we'll make the text bigger. We'll make this, that's just a terrible example, but we'll make accounts for that, concessions for that. But when you have what I have, and it's not a dyslexia, although I'm dyslexic, it's nothing. It's not a mental health issue. It's more pervasive and complex than that in a way, yet more simple. Oh yeah, this is really making sense, Will. When you have this, and most of you do, I'd suggest, especially the ones with struggle, especially the ones that are people pleasers. Those are kind of my audience. If you're struggling, if you're a people pleaser, you put other people first. You've got full of self-doubt, you worry too much. I'd love to help unpack that, take you from A to Z, to help you really understand that, so that you can use those courses that are out there, so that you can build a business without sabotaging yourself and getting your own way. And that's where this comes in. So what I've done is created that thing, not how to sell, how to do business, none of that, is so that those courses work for you. If you've tried lots of different courses and it doesn't work for you because you get in your own way for some blimmin' reason, and you think you're ugly and you can't look in the mirror and you're stupid and you know all that stuff. Actually, it's not true. But you think all that stuff about yourself. It's that and deeper. It goes that stuff that you can access, you talk to yourself about, you know about yourself. Oh, no good with money. Oh no, I lost I think a 20 quid note when I was little, sent off with my cousins to go to the fair. And I always was brought up as a good boy to have my hanky. Excuse me, that was a bit snotty. To wipe my nose, just the thing, brought up. Always have it in the back pocket. They thought, oh, you haven't got a wallet. Willie, that's my name. Will, but Willie, we can put it in your back pocket. But of course, I went to wipe my nose, and out the 20 quid went, unaware. I wasn't thinking about it, but for the rest of, how many more years? For the next 20 years in my family, I got told I was bad with money. And that stuff built up a a belief that I was bad with money. I wouldn't trust myself with money. I'd give it to my partners. I'd put the responsibility onto others. I'm not responsible. I can't. It's not true. It's just what happened. So these things build up. I mean, when you know most of the stuff about yourself, but there's a ton of stuff in your subconscious that you're not aware of, and you're certainly not aware of how deeply it moves you. And that's the sort of trauma I'm talking about. And that's the sort of trauma that, as well as something big or an individual thing happening, a bad thing or a difficult thing happening, and that's a more classic trauma and how that can affect you. The brain doesn't distinguish between the severity of the traumas. They're traumas. It's just a name, but that's kind of the stuff, and that's kind of the impact. I hope that makes sense. So what this is I'm excited about it. For me, it's the A to Z of dealing with this stuff, so that it's a levels the playing field, so that when you buy a course, when you get, you can apply that stuff, and you will apply that stuff, rather than going, oh, that's really interesting, but I can't do it, and it all slips through your fingers, like sand through your fingers, and it's like you're left there back, worse off, and having struggled and tried to apply this stuff, maybe moved increments further forward. Of course you do. You don't stay in the same place, but you're still stuck. You're still wishing and dreaming that you could be more successful. So particularly looking for mums who are working, that are wanting to build a business but struggling. They're plan B that wants to make it into the main game, that's going to make a difference to their lives and their babies. Whew. So 4 days to go. Please like, comment, share, and tag me. Tag 3 people that you think would benefit from this. The lovely, kind people that give to other people more than they give to themselves. That's part of the problem. And then I'll put you into the draw, and the draw will be on Friday the 14th to get exclusive access to this and a 1 hour one-to-one coaching session with me. I thank you for your time. This is longer than I thought, but or intended, but I hope the value is there for you. All right, many thanks. Speak to you soon. Have an awesome rest of the day. Bye bye.